Hey guys, here we are. We're doing another BFE job on a 1KD. This is a Hilux, so it is the bigger one. We've shown similar information to this before. I've mentioned before, the maximum information is in the VIP group for once you become a client. That's the clients group. Once you purchase the parts, if you want to buy that kit, the BFE kit, there's a few things we do to make your life easier. So just to show, it is a pretty big job. You can see the air box is removed. Compressor's got to come off, not disconnecting the lines. Alternator's got to come off. Obviously battery disconnected before all of that. Excuse me. One of those mornings again, hey? And the top with the Hiluxes and some, I'm not going to just put it to just Hiluxes, but generally all Hiluxes, but not all, and generally not too many Prados, but some have got the one-piece water pump. Okay, so which creates a big job. You can see massive amount of work pulling everything out here, really, you know. And what we do is, to prevent this needing to happen again, there's a backing plate I'm going to go over the bench and show you shortly, that goes, it's a two-piece pump, so we convert it over to a two-piece pump. Just want to say quickly about the cam seal. I'll remind you again, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Okay, so it's very rare, this is the cam seal here, it's very rare that they leak. We do include it in our kit for two reasons. A, if you pull this apart and you find out there's a sweat underneath on that plastic backing plate, that's all it's going to be, generally a sweat. If anything, it probably won't be leaking. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, unless you're really good at changing seals. That is, get the seal out without scratching the cam surface, and don't damage anything at the bottom. If you're going to lever it out, you can just put a little flat blade in at the top, and just, because if you put a little indent here, it's not going to matter, the oil's not going to leak at the top. I'm not saying go ahead and damage it, but the top's the area where you can easily flick that seal out. But don't let whatever you're using to flick it go like this and then scratch and damage the camshaft, okay? And make sure if you fit it exactly. Take note the position it's in and how far in and out it is. Fit it exactly where it is, unless you've got wear in the camshaft and that's why it's leaking and you've changed it a couple of times. This is information, I suppose, more relevant to other vehicles. Sometimes it's worth moving the seal further in or further out so that you've got a new line on the camshaft, because you can't always sort of clean it up. It's worn, it becomes a bit smaller. There's some products you can get and use for that. So that's your little tip there. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's in the kit, keep it. That way, if somewhere down the track it does decide to start leaking, well, you can just go in there and just change that. And some people are saying, oh, wouldn't you just change it while you're there? Well, you can if you like, but like I said, sometimes people don't do jobs right and it's better off left alone, is why I'm saying that. So if you're really confident at getting it out without any damage and cleaning it, and you've got the time and you want to do it, absolutely go ahead and do it, okay? So this is just a bit damp, we're just giving it a wash down. We're about to give it a blow dry. It's been sitting like that a little while, actually, about an hour. So look at all the rust, or the surface rust, that'll all clean off. It doesn't matter anyway, but that'll all clean off. When you put the backing plate, just a little, see that RTV silicone along there? I don't actually clean that off because it's a real pain and it gets messy. So, and there's quite a bit there, and I do, some people don't even put it there again, but what I do, I just put a tiny, really thin smear on the plastic cover. It's easier to apply it to the cover, and so you don't need heaps mushing out like this. This is all a bit mushed out around the outside. So you've just got a small amount, and it just sort of sticks straight over that old sealant, which works really well. A very small amount, and then it's really neat and tidy. You won't even know that it's ever been off. Doesn't matter too much because they don't seal up 100% anyway. The covers, with heat and that, the covers, they get a bit distorted, and the rubber seal, they can leak a little bit. That's why another thing we do, we put moly coat on the bit of moly coat. You know, you could use rubber grease or whatever, but we use moly coat on that rubber of the cover to help just seal it up from dust a little bit. It doesn't seal it up, but it helps a little bit. What else can I tell you down here? Don't muck up your timing marks and everything. Make sure you get it right. And if you want to avoid problems, that's what you do. You buy the BFE kit from us, you get in the VIP group, you watch the videos, the full detail ones on this, although this one will show you quite a bit of info, but watching the whole job in detail is obviously better than a little bit here, a little bit there. Let's go to the bench and have a look at the parts. Here we are at the bench, and we've got the parts all prepared for the job, and because this is how we roll, you know, you get it stripped down, you get the parts, you lay them out, and I'm just going to let you know what we do so that you know what's going on. Could be helpful. Here's that cam seal we spoke about, right? That's pretty straightforward, you know what to do with that. These are the bearings we replaced. There's 4 small and 1 large. On the drive belt idlers if they're genuine, the new genuine drive belt, the new genuine water pump, the idler, the tensioner, of course the timing belt. So what we do is, if it's a Prado obviously, you only need to use this front section of the pump. That's the part that's got the seal and the bearing that wears. This thing doesn't need to be touched. Some people will try and tell you otherwise because they just want to sell, oh yeah, no, that's got to be done. No, you can't not do that. Because they just want to sell you extra work is what we believe, okay? Now let me explain, let me back it up with a bit of experience. I've done heaps of these and I can tell you that this gasket sticks to the block and sticks to the back of that like you know what, to a shovel or whatever, right? So, and the other second point is if you haven't taken off this, the bracket here, it goes over the top there, that's holding that hard against the block, and these bolts are holding this side. So there's no way, some people are worried that, oh, by undoing these bolts, right, because there are some long ones that go all the way through into the block, this is gonna come away and then it's gonna leak later. Well, firstly, A, no, that doesn't happen. That does not happen. And B, if it did, I could take this off and put that back on again with the same gasket and my money's on it wouldn't leak, because these gaskets are so good. They're like a stainless gasket with a rubber coating over it. It's going back on the same car in the same place. Even if a little speck got stuck at one side and not the other, it's going to go back in the same spot. If you were not sure, you could. Anyway, it just doesn't happen. It's not going to happen. It's not going to leak. So if you're not sure about whether you need to change that as well on a Prado, you don't. But if you want to go ahead and change it, pull your alternator and your compressor off and the whole backing plate and everything, go ahead and change it, no problem. But this basically goes to scrap metal. Same does that. Well, you can keep it for a spare some other time. We're going to use this gasket. We're going to give it a clean first, because you can see it's got a bit of, you know, whatever on it, a bit of oily stuff, whatever. Anyway, so we'll give that a clean, because for things to stick, it needs to be clean and dry, like that surface there, not that there. So there's your other little tip. So water pump that's going to get used. We've covered all the parts we're going to use here, so that's pretty simple. If you want to get a job like this done, it's done for reliability. Every 150,000 Ks, this timing belt is what's due to be replaced. That's all you get at 150,000 K surface, that. They may check other components like this and may replace that. That'll cost you about an extra 120 or something like that. They probably won't replace this, that's an extra 120, whatever. We don't muck around. 150,000 Ks is a long time, and we want all these bearings to be reliable, and we don't want to go in there twice, as in do the timing belt, and then you've got to come and do the water pumps, you know, whatever. And we do all the coolant flush, everything at the same time. So once every 150,000 Ks, this is the BFE job. You may be able to do it yourself. We can supply you the kit to do it, the videos to show you how to do it. If you're good on the tools, if you're handy on the tools. If you're not handy on the tools, don't try and do it. Now, I can't do them all, but I can direct you to our 4x4 Diesel Workshop partners that can do this job for you. Obviously they've done plenty of them, they know what they're doing, they're on the same page with doing things properly, taking the time to make sure it's done right the first time. What else can I say about this job? Here he is, speak of the devil. The assistant has pressed out the bearings, given it a wipe clean, put some grease in there. There's the bearings for the job, just carefully, we don't want to drop those, okay? So what we're going to do is, put the rest of them in a safe place. That's it, 2 for now, 3 for later. I'm not going to show you how to press in the bearings. I'm just going to say, obviously, we use a press. It is a pretty easy press. Some people report that they just use a vise to press them in, so it is pretty easy. But we use a press, and look, I don't know, would you fluff around on a vise? I don't know. So look, if you want to do it, if you want to do it yourself, absolutely, it's all doable. It's not a hard, heavy press situation getting them out or in, or if you might have a little tool or something, contraption you can make up, let us know in the comments what you did. But if you want to get it done from our workshop partners, as I said, shoot me a text message and I can hook you up with someone that can help you out with the BFE job if you can't do it yourself. And if you want to contact me for parts, the parts. If you want these parts, if you want the BFE kit, it is currently $7.15 delivered to your door express post. We've got a video on what's included. Well, this is kind of it now, isn't it? Only work school hours, guys. Monday's the dedicated parts days. Please plan ahead. There is sometimes shortage of parts. It could be that, could be the bearing, could be whatever, right? There's a number of components here in the kit, and we want to make sure you get brand new, genuine, not any substitutes unless they're just as good or better than genuine, okay? Sometimes we do have to, for example, you can't get these Toyota ones, so you have to buy the, you know, it's an NSK bearing, so you can buy that from NSK, right? So currently we're in March 2021, and I just want to say the days to contact me for parts are Monday the 15th or Monday the 22nd. If you can't do it on those dates, the next time is, you might be able to get me on the 12th of April, but if you don't get me on the 12th of April, because it's a maybe, I'll try and avoid that one. The next guaranteed date to get parts is the 19th of April. 19th and 20th, right? Monday the 19th if you can. So put that one in the diary. We're going to get smashed on those days, so please be patient. It'll take us a few days to get everything out. But in March, it's kind of business as usual. Mondays, as I said, we've done this week, the 15th and the 22nd coming in the next couple of weeks. So if you want to get that, now's the time to smash it out. And yeah, we're going to be taking a few holidays here or there, a bit of annual leave, a few days off. Got stuff with the family going on, you know, work-life balance. So that's what we're doing. These are the parts. Hopefully that's been helpful. Please give us a thumbs up if you learnt something out of that. And hopefully you understand the dates. School hours, guys. I work a lot of other aspects in the business. And please subscribe, turn the bell on so you don't miss, for you, so that you don't miss the next important bit of info. Thanks for watching, guys. See ya.